asistente de la fiscalía qué recomiendan en cuanto a excarcelamiento o en cuanto a fianza. Después le preguntaré a la señorita Gorey, que es la abogada de oficio, a ver qué es lo que está pidiendo, qué recomienda. En últimas, yo voy a decidir de qué se les va a dar.
In some of your cases, I will be entering no contact orders.
Para algunos de los casos, emitiré una orden de no tener contacto.
If I enter an order or tell you that as a condition of bond, you are to have no contact with a particular person or place.
Judge, IT does not have the volume on in the lobby, so they can't hear what you're saying.
We must have a new staff over there this afternoon.
Okay, Judge, let's see if we can hear you now. You want to see if you can hear? You want to go ahead and speak and we'll make sure we can hear you.
Can you all hear me in the room where all the inmates are?
Yes, they're indicating yes.
Well, let us start again. When I call your name, please, you're going to be coming before me. I'm going to be asking the state attorney for the recommendation with regards to conditions of release or bond, as well as I would listen to the attorney from the public defender who will be present, Ms. Corey.
Entonces, cuando llame su nombre, yo le preguntaré a la fiscalía qué recomienda en lo que tiene que ver con condiciones de excarcelamiento o de fianza. Al igual, la señorita Gorey, la abogada de oficio, les preguntaré qué está pidiendo en cuanto a condiciones de fianza.
When you appear before me, I will advise you of the charges for which you are appearing before me.
Cuando venga a comparecer ante mí, yo le informaré los cargos que enfrenta.
After today, the case will be passed, and essentially, the state attorney's office then will have to make a decision as to whether or not they will file formal charges against you.
Entonces, después del día de hoy, el caso irá más adelante ante la fiscalía para que ellos decidan si formalmente les van a importar cargos o no.
I may be entering in your particular cases a no contact order.
Es posible que yo presente una orden de no contacto.
And that will be no contact against a particular person or for you to stay away from a particular place.
Esa orden de no contacto puede ser para prohibirle o que ingrese a un lugar en particular o que contacte a alguien en particular.
If I enter that order, it will be as a condition of your release.
Si yo presento esa orden, esa va a ser una condición de excarcelamiento.
It will be a condition of your release.
Será una condición de excarcelamiento.
What that means is if you are on bond and you have contact, your bond will be revoked and you will be remanded into custody.
Lo que eso significa es que si se va bajo fianza y se le quita la fianza, entonces permanecerían bajo custodia.
When I call your name, please stand up, go up to the officer that will be directing you, and you will be escorted or shown where you're supposed to be standing before the camera next to the attorney from the public defender's office, like Ms. Mendez is standing right now, I believe.
Cuando llame su nombre, entonces el oficial del departamento carcelario lo va a acompañar o lo va a dirigir para que se pare frente a la cámara, le va a indicar dónde debe estar, que estará ahí se parará junto a la oficina, perdón, a la abogada de la oficina de abogados de oficio.
Michaela Mendez, is that you, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mendez, who do you live with?
I live with my aunt.
Where do you work?
I'm in school right now.
What school?
Sheridan Technical College.
I reviewed the arrest report. I find a probable cause for the charges.
Judge,
Madam
if we can address probable cause.
Yes, ma'am.
She's charged with aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, Judge. a taser is not a deadly weapon. It's a non-lethal force that the police use, so that's not a deadly weapon. At best, it would be assault on an officer.
Will the prongs of the taser break the skin?
And that judge, and she was never accused of tasering an officer.
No, I understand it's an assault.
Right.
Can I use a pencil to assault you?
Can you use a pencil to assault me?
Sure. Can I get a pencil and say, I'm gonna stab you?
Yes,
Is that an aggravated assault?
it could be, but a taser is not a deadly weapon, Judge.
No, I understand.
Depending on how the pencil is used, it
Right.
could be interpreted as a deadly weapon, but a taser is not a deadly weapon, Judge.
Okay.
Otherwise, police wouldn't use it as a secondary means because they're not using their deadly force firearm. They would use a taser. So they don't go around tasing
So,
people.
so I see that she has been charged with F2 as opposed to F3.
Assault on a law enforcement officer, I believe, would be a first degree misdemeanor. Simple assault's a second degree misdemeanor, so up charged to enhanced to a first degree misdemeanor.
What say you, say?
Never talked to you.
You're muted.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'm reviewing that right now just to see how it changes. I agree that the taser would not be a deadly weapon. I'm just verifying whether or not it categorizes it to an F1, to an F3 or an M1. I'm just trying to verify that.
And I was not taking issue with the deadly weapon. I was taking issue with the aggravated assault, but it's a third-degree felony. A deadly weapon will be a second-degree felony.
Correct.
The simple assault is a second degree misdemeanor.
Right. So, Judge, I would argue that it would be a third degree aggravated assault. And when it's done with the intent to commit a felony, which battery on a law enforcement is, that it could be still be an aggravated assault on a Leo.
In any event, the court has reviewed the arrest and booking report, and I know there was a large fracas out there in which this defendant was protecting the person who was being assaulted by the large number of individuals. So I don't think the case is as aggravated as the usual cases, even though she should have just dropped the darn thing when the police officers commanded her to do so. I find probable cause for a third-degree felony.
That's over defense objection.
Yes, ma'am. I do, and resisting an officer with violence.
It does not state that she used it, Judge.
No, but she was threatened to use it, right? In any event, let me continue. Miss Mendez, where do you live?
My aunt.
What's the address, ma'am? I apologize.
I'm sorry. 14170 Northwest 22nd Avenue.
Who lives at 2770 Northwest 131st?
That's what my mom stays at, but I don't stay with her no more.
Okay, who do you stay with?
I said my aunt, Judge.
Your aunt.
Yeah, sorry.
So there's no reason for you to go to 4888 Northwest 133rd, right?
No. Oh, he was asking mom.
To count one, your bond will be 1,000. And so to count two, your bond will be 1,000. Good luck to you, ma'am. Shayla Magruder? Okay, that's why I was putting them here. I didn't know.
Judge,
Counsel,
Judge, sorry to interrupt. After Miss Magruder, can we take Moreno Augusto? He's in a lot of pain.
can you tell me what page so I can look for him?
Page 3.
Okay. Moreno.
Judge, Mrs. Magruder is out on felony bond on 2 cases, F-2514508 and F-2514500.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we proceed with Ms. Magruder, counsel for the state, did you get a hold of the officers with the pink cocaine?
Yes, sir, I did.
Are they gonna be showing up?
He's here already.
Okay.
And when we get there, I'll promote him.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Magruder, you're charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon. The state has filed a motion for pretrial detention. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. The state has filed a motion for pretrial detention pursuant to Florida statute 907.0415D. Armed robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon is an enumerated offense. It is an F1. And so we'd be asking the court to find probable cause, hold the defendant no bond, and reset this case to tomorrow to be heard in division.
An order granted the pretrial detention.
Judge, your microphone is off?
I apologize. I took it off to ask for a pen. Thank you, ma'am. I have granted the state's motion for pretrial detention. I'm setting a stay away order for you to have no contact with lovely Placide or go by the Aldi's located at 735 Northeast 167th Street. I'm going to pass this case until tomorrow. Is that what the?
Yes, Judge. If we reset this to tomorrow morning in division, the division judge will hear it and then subsequently set the date to have the motion heard officially.
All right, we'll set it tomorrow before the division. Thank
Judge,
you.
I would ask that Ms. Magruder not be held on F-25-14500 or F-25-14508. Those cases she was arrested July 9th. This case predates those cases. The delayed arrest.
That is correct, Judge. This incident happened.
Aren't they gonna hear this tomorrow?
They're going to hear the new case tomorrow, yes, Judge, but this case would not violate her release because she was not arrested at the.
Yeah, and that is correct, I guess, because of the days I don't have before me. So I will not hold her on those 2 cases. Page 3, Augusto Marino. Is that the gentleman who you wanted me to call?
Yes, Judge, this is him.
Mr. Marino, how are you? Elizabeth Nunez? Ms. Nunez, do you speak English?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're charged with battery on a police officer, resisting with violence. Who do you live with?
My boyfriend?
When's the last time you were hospitalized for psychological issues?
Maybe 4 months ago.
And how long were you hospitalized?
I believe A whole week?
Are you currently under the care of a mental health doctor?
Yes, I am.
Have you been prescribed medication?
Yes, I have.
I hear from the state and defense.
Judge, before I say anything, I'm interested if she has benefits and what Miss Corey is learning before I would make a suggestion.
Ms. Corey?
Judge, I would ask if you would consider, she lives with her boyfriend. I would ask if you would consider releasing her to pretrial release on this case, Judge. If you would order her in.
I will, with the condition that she complies with all recommended treatment, including the taking of medication for her schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. How long have you lived in Miami?
Lived in Miami my whole life since I was 7 years old.
I'm gonna refer to pretrial services with a alternate bond of $1,500 each. Good luck, human. Condition of this pretrial services is that you comply with all recommended treatment from your mental health doctor, as including the taking of medication. Alina Corbado,
Judge, he's reset medical
when do you all want me to reset it till tomorrow?
tomorrow, Judge.
All right, let's talk about that. This hearing with Judge John Mason moved fast, but not without some memorable moments. First off, Judge Mason's tone was firm but focused, classic early docket efficiency. You could tell he's done this 1,000 times, and he kept things moving while still taking time to clarify serious legal distinctions. A good example was during the discussion over whether a taser constitutes a deadly weapon. The defense made a solid point. It's a non-lethal tool regularly used by officers themselves. So calling it deadly stretches things a bit. But Judge Mason wasn't buying the binary view. He pushed back with a pencil analogy that, while humorous, made a valid legal point. Any object, depending on intent and context, can be considered threatening. You could tell he was walking the line between overcharging and public safety. Michaela Mendez, the defendant in that moment, remained fairly composed, if a bit unclear about her residence situation. But she cooperated with the court, and that seemed to work in her favor. Her bond was set at $1,000 per count, which felt measured considering the charges and the back and forth about aggravation. The courtroom atmosphere was mostly calm, with a few hiccups from tech issues. Apparently the lobby couldn't hear the judge at first. Judge Mason handled that with dry humor, brushing off the interruption and diving right back in. As more cases came up, we saw the judge consistently ask defendants about their address and living situations, clearly tying conditions of release to avoiding further conflict. In one case, he issued a no-contact order tied to an Aldi's location knot. Something you hear every day, but it shows how specific and localized these orders can get. There was even a moment where Judge Mason channeled his inner parent, calling a defendant such a mum today after she confirmed she no longer lived with her mother. The overall vibe was procedural, yet human. Nothing chaotic, but plenty of fast pivots between legal language, personal circumstances, and medical conditions. In a later segment, a defendant was questioned about her psychiatric history, and Judge Mason made the compassionate call to place her on pretrial release with strict compliance to her treatment regimen. That was a reminder that mental health factors are taken seriously. He wasn't just throwing out terms, he followed through with meaningful conditions. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments. Below, I read every one.